Hello, everybody. Joe Boy, the Tatum Meister here. And I haven't done one of these videos in a while. So, since Halloween just came out, the new one, and since it's the Halloween month, and since Halloween is literally a few days away, I thought, hey, might as well make a Halloween-themed video. So today, we are going to be ranking all 11 Halloween movies from worst to best. Now, this list might be a little controversial because I know people have their favorites of the series, and people don't really agree on which movie is the best, but I think we can all agree the first one is amazing. So, yeah. Today I'm going to cover what I think are the best movies from worst to best. So, I hope you're all ready. This is including the new one, so spoilers, if you have not seen the new movie yet, please click off if I get to that part, because I'm going to talk a lot about the last two movies of this list, so I hope you're ready. So, here we go. Coming in at number 11, my least favorite Halloween movie is Halloween Resurrection. Oh dear lord. Okay. I really don't. Okay, so yeah, I guess I enjoyed this movie, but it sure is terrible. Oh man, I wasn't a big fan of the Halloween 20 concept at all, and this movie just amplified that to make it even more stupid, which I don't know. But, geez, guys, Halloween Resurrection, I feel bad for the guy that directed this movie, like, legit. He's gonna have to live that down, because it's that bad. Rick Rosenthal, okay. I mean, what's funny is Rick Rosenthal did Halloween 2, which is actually one of the best movies ever. And the original Halloween 2. But, like, dude, Rick, what the frick? Like, it's just sad, because Rick was a good director, but the writing and everything about her Halloween Resurrection, it was just, jeez. It was just so bad. I'm sorry. I don't want to talk about it anymore. It's just don't watch it. Really. Move on to number 10. Halloween 2 by Rob Zombie. So, yeah. As you can see, I'm not a big fan of the Rob Zombie Halloween films. The only reason this is better than Halloween Resurrection is because of the lore and because the concept wasn't that as bad. But, geez, Rob Zombie, what did you do? You just ruined Halloween, dude. I mean, this ended up being worse than his first one, which I actually don't hate the first one that much. It's just, I don't like what he did with the series. I've never been a fan of Rob Zombie's movies in general, so him doing the Halloween movies were just, I don't know. What's funny is the first Rob Zombie movie was the first Halloween movie I ever saw. I watched it when it came out in theaters. It came out in like 2008. I'm like, wow, this is actually pretty good. And then this one came out, and I'm like, oh, geez, never mind. Like, the first Rob Zombie movie actually wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It was enjoyable, I guess, at points. I don't know. But I really don't like Rob Zombie's take on the franchise. It just, especially this one, because it's like a drag. This movie feels like a drag. I just don't like the concepts. I don't like what he was doing with it. And you just lost me, Rob. Okay, just stop. Move on to number 9, please. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2007. The remake nobody fucking wanted. I'm sorry. Look, to be fairly honest with you guys, this movie isn't terrible, but it's definitely not the best. It could have been a lot better. Now, as a remake standard, the original destroys this movie, but that's not the point. You really have to look at it as Rob Zombie's movie. And as a Rob Zombie movie, it's actually pretty cool. And this was the first Halloween movie I ever watched. I watched this one in 2007 when it first came out. I was about like 11 or something. I forgot how old I was. But yeah, I watched this when it first came out. And I was just like, what? I don't know. It's definitely a different take on the story, but I just didn't like what Rob Zombie did with the movie. I liked it at the time because this was the first one we ever watched. And looking back at it, it's kind of terrible compared to all the other Halloween movies. But I still kind of like it. You know, I still kind of dig it, what he was trying to do. It kind of lost me with the second one. The second one is just like, oh, what the fuck are you, what? But this one's actually not that terrible. I mean, yeah, it's pretty bad at points, but it's kind of good at points, too. It has ups and downs. I give it like a 5 out of 10. Is it horrible? No. But is it good? I wouldn't really say that either. So let's move on to number 8, shall we? Halloween, 20 years later. I've kind of forgot who directed this, honestly. Hold on. Okay, so I really particularly enjoy this movie, but I don't think it's as good as people say it is. Now, I know I'm going to get hate for putting it this low on the list. And I don't get me wrong, I like Steve Miner. Steve Miner is a great director. He did Friday the 13th, Part 2, 3, and 4, I think, if I'm not mistaken. No, Part 3, okay. He did the Friday the 13th movies that changed the franchise. I like Steve Miner. He's a good director. But I just felt like the concept of Halloween 20 years later it just didn't get me, man. I don't know. And the fact that they had to axe off all the other movies at the time just didn't really, it didn't sit well with me. I don't know, man. I don't hate this movie. I just think that Jamie, well, she was like the only good part about it. The rest of it just, I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like Halloween 20 years later was a good concept, but it was just ruined by the filmmaking and everything else. It's not terrible by any means. It's pretty enjoyable, actually. It's just not as good as some of the other films they made. So let's move on to number 7. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch is number 7. Okay, guys. Okay, I know a lot of people hate this film, but I'm one of the people that like the movie. Now, I know it's the only movie in the franchise that doesn't have Michael Myers in it, but that's what makes it unique. Now, this is like the American Horror Story before American Horror Story came out, because this is what John Carpenter wanted. He wanted to make the Halloween a series that was an anthology series, and each movie would be different. Of course, that ended up not working out, but hey, what are you gonna do? So, I think like this is definitely the film that the franchise started to go south, because yeah, I'm kind of like, what the frick? Like, John Carpenter produced this movie, but this is definitely a Tommy Lee Wallace film, and he's the guy that did It, which was okay, the old one, the old miniseries. I don't know, man. Tommy Lee Wallace had some radical freaking ideas for this film. It definitely has a weird concept, but it's actually a really enjoyable movie. I'm not gonna lie. If you just take away the fact that Michael's not in it, if you take away the fact that John Carpenter's not in it as much, he's not directing and writing the script, oh well. But let's be honest here, guys. It's still a really enjoyable film, okay? I know people are going to hate me for saying that, but I really think this film's entertaining. It's got a good concept, got a good story, and it's not that bad. So let's move on to number 6. Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers. Wow. Okay, so for me, this is definitely one that made me salty, but I still got a kick out of it, honestly. So yeah, I feel like Halloween 4, 5, 6 kind of got worse as it went along. So that's pretty much what's going to be the next 3. This is number 6 on the list, by the way. So Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers. What do I think of it? I guess it's better than the ones I just said, but not by much, honestly. I don't fucking know. I was kind of annoyed to put this here. Because the first time I watched this movie, I enjoyed it, but after a while I started realizing, and I'm like, this movie makes no fucking sense. Like, what? Like, I don't know. I like this movie a lot. It has some really cool depths in it and some really cool concepts. But, oh man, it's just, what the fuck? I don't know. Trying to explain Michael's backstory is not a good idea. That's what Rob Zombie failed at doing. And this movie failed at it too. But it's not as bad as Rob Zombie did, I guess. But, oh man, I don't know. The only thing I like about Halloween 4, 5, and 6 is Dr. Sam Loomis. So let's move on to number 5. Halloween 5. Yeah, baby. Woohoo. Okay, so I know a lot of people don't like this film, but I like it. Now, personally, Halloween 4 and 5 are definitely the ones that people are like the most controversial ones. Me personally, I like Halloween 4 and 5. They're pretty dope. Especially, this one's actually kind of better than 4 in some ways, but I didn't put it above 4 because 4 is a classic. You can't not like 4. But I'm going to be real with you guys. Look. Halloween 5 is not as bad as people say. I got a kick out of it. It had a good concept. I like the niece and uncle storyline. It was really good. I'm kind of glad they retconned it, though, because some of the parts of this movie is pretty bad. But overall, it's a pretty enjoyable film. So let's move on to number 4. Number 4 is, of course, Halloween 4. A Curse of Michael Myers. Wow. I mean, the Return of Michael Myers. Sorry. I'm going to be real with you guys. I really like this movie a lot. Like, it was just cool because it was definitely a lot better than Halloween 3, like, for sure. And I guess because they gave what you wanted. They gave you Michael Myers back. He's back. Of course, this movie definitely raises a lot of questions because I'm glad they retconned this movie and the one I'm gonna say later. But I just gotta say, Halloween 4 is actually pretty enjoyable. It's and I think that was the point. They wanted to do that, but yeah, it's an awesome movie. Who doesn't think it is? Let's be honest here. By the way, I got Stewie Griffin on. Yeah, Halloween 4. It's awesome. What more do I have to say? It's a movie you can watch over and over again. It's just a cool ass film. But none of the storyline makes a lot of sense, but who cares? It's got some awesome moments. So let's move on to number three. Number 3. The original 1981 Halloween 2. Now, boy, if John Carpenter had directed this film, it would have probably been one of the best sequels of all time. Is it a good sequel? Yeah, it is. Who can deny? It's John Carpenter. He produced and wrote for this movie, along with Deborah Hill, who wrote for the first film, the original 1979 film. This is a direct sequel taking right after the first one, so answering those questions right off the bat. And we got Jamie Lee Curtis and of course, Don Pleasance in the same movie again. This is a movie that is awesome, and it's sad that they had to retcon it for the next movie I'm about to say, but I'm going to be real with you guys. Halloween 2 original John Carpenter is a classic. And it's a classic like the first one. Not as good as the first one, of course. But, hey, what are you going to do? It's kind of hard to top the first one. I think it's just John Carpenter didn't direct it. It was a different director, Rick Rosenthal, who, by the way, did Halloween Resurrection, which I don't know how he went from that to that, but okay. I don't know. I still don't get that. But this movie's really awesome. I'm going to tell you right now. It's a really enjoyable film. I watched it 3 times. It's a great film. Not as good as the original, but still packs a punch. So let's move on to number 2. And I'm going to talk a lot about this one. Halloween, the new one, 2018 film, directed by David Gordon Green. Man, now we got to the perfect ones. I'm just saying, look, guys, if you've not seen this movie, please go watch it. I really don't want to spoil you because I'm going to go into full detail of what I love about this new Halloween film so much. These last 2 I'm going to talk about for probably a long time because there's so much to get into about this new film. It was utterly amazing in every single regard. Now, I know people are going to be like, oh, this movie's overrated. It's not that good. There's better movies. Look, guys. As a Halloween fan, this is the perfect movie for you. If you've been a fan for the series for a long time, David Gordon Green did something. Tim, the guys that made this movie, who David Gordon Green and I think Danny McBride wrote the script for this. They wanted to make a movie that felt like a real Halloween movie, like not like any of the sequels we saw before, and they accomplished that. With John Carpenter coming back, of course, because you gotta do it, John Carpenter. And we got Jamie Lee Curtis back. But not only that, the person that played Michael in the original film came back for this movie. That's just how big of a deal Halloween 2018 was. And to this day, I watched it twice in the theater already, guys. That's how much I like this movie. It's that good. No joke. And I think, I just think it's one of those movies that just really just did a lot. It was amazing. I'm impressed. I don't know what else I can say other than, I'm just like Nick Castle as Michael coming back was just great. Like, this whole movie is just, I don't know, man. I could watch it 10 more times. It's that good. Granted, of course, you already know what number 1 is. So I don't even know if I should say what number 1 is because it's pretty damn obvious what number 1 is. But the best Halloween movie, of course. The original Halloween, 1978 by John Carpenter. Okay, so alright, time to end the video. I'm just kidding. Yeah, so you already knew this was going to be number 1, guys. Why'd you even think it was going to be anything else? John Carpenter is a visionary. And every movie he directs is utter amazingness. He did the score for this. And he did the score for the new one. The new one is awesome, too. But as great as the new film was, I gotta say, guys, the original is still number one, and I don't know anything that will top. No slasher film can come close. Okay, it's the original slasher film. It's the Snow White of the slasher genre, guys. You can't beat that. John Carpenter started a whole new genre with this movie, and he created inspiration for all the horror films we got nowadays. Without that movie, there ain't no famous horror people. Okay. John Carpenter is the original horror director, okay? You can't get to John Carpenter. John Carpenter is fantastic, okay? I'm just saying, look, forget even trying to beat the first one. As great as Halloween, the new one was, but John Carpenter was involved, yes, but David Gordon Green can't beat John Carpenter, okay? There's no way. As great as I love David Gordon Green, because he did Pineapple Express, and he did this new Halloween film, it was freaking fantastic in every freaking way. But nothing can defeat the original, because the original is the original. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day. Ba, 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 ba.